You are listening to the Savage FINcast, episode 112, The Secret History of Curling.
Chicago. The criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the dragon.
This is the Savage FINcast, the show that's strong to the finish because we eat our spinach. I am Jim Purcell.
I'm Craig Olson.
I'm Raven Perez.
And we are back after a long, long absence due to many circumstances. But we are back again for a brand new episode of the Savage FINcast, the internet's only, as far as we're aware, podcast dedicated to the great comic book series, The Savage Dragon. Celebrating 30 years this year. It's crazy how long Dragon's been going on and how I've only experienced 20 years of that firsthand.
Fake fan.
That's it. Shut it down.
Mm-hmm. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
You know, think about that for 2 seconds. 1992. Good Lord.
Yeah.
What were you doing in 1992, Raven?
I was 11, so, you know, not much.
Well, I was also 10 or 11. In fact, now that I think about it, in 92, I would have been 10 or 11. I would have been just getting into middle school. I would not even be slamming pogs or playing magic cards at that point. I have no idea what I was doing when I was that age. I think I was making I was making my teacher mad because all I wanted to do was read books and look out the window.
I was a freshman in high school, and like a total nerd, I had cutouts of all the Image stuff from like what was the catalog back then? It wasn't previews. It was
Don't ask us. We were
what was
baby
the
bottles.
I don't know. I forget, but I cut out all the pages and I had it like taped to the inside of my locker. That's gonna kill me now. What was the name of the catalog before?
Was it
previews?
Heroes?
No. Advanced Comics, right? Does that sound familiar?
Maybe. Yeah. I will say that like I did a little post about it, and it's crazy that in 1992, Bucky O'Hare got a Nintendo game. So they were still releasing Nintendo games. The first Nintendo.
Oh, I was absolutely still getting Nintendo games in 92. I wasn't allowed to get a Super Nintendo.
Fuck
so
yeah,
I had my NES until 96 when I got my N64.
Dude, I was too poor for a Super Nintendo.
Wait, I thought Super Nintendo wasn't until like 94.
No, it came out in 90.
Bucky O'Hare hit. Bucky O'Hare, it's late. Bucky O'Hare hit in 92. Bucky O'Hare's a late release, right? So it's late, but the point is that we're still getting new Nintendo games.
Right. Super Nintendo came out in North America in late 91. They continue to put out NES games because back in the day, they still did that for like 3 more years. They didn't discontinue the NES until 1994.
But I think the craziest fact that I found... Oh, yeah, here's the less crazy fact. Stuffed crust pizza didn't even exist until 95.
Well, I used a little bit of quick research. I was not even reading comic books in 1992. All the comics I was reading, I was getting in Nintendo Power, which I was in my first year subscription, and Boys Life magazine, which had great comics back in the day.
I mean, for the most part, me too. I lived in southern West Virginia, so there was no comic shop. So any comics that I got were just random shit. Like, I remember crystal clear. When I first saw the Image shit, it was like just in a grocery store, in a Kroger, or an IGA, or a Piggly Wiggly, one of the three.
Wow.
But, like, it was just there. I didn't have a comic shop. So, like you, Jim, dude, I was reading, like, fucking Bazooka Joe and like and Nintendo Power comics and stuff.
Yeah, Bazooka Joe. That was a yeah.
I mean, when you don't have comics or a comic shop in your life,
access to comic books, you'll take comics anywhere you can find them.
yeah, Archie, like fucking.
As they say, any port in a storm. That's about right.
My kids love Archie. Absolutely love it. They have like dozens and dozens of digests. That's the only comics they'll read, and they read it every night before bed. It's crazy.
When you say digest, you mean they're reading the older material, not the current.
Yeah. They don't like the current.
That
stuff.
is fascinating to me.
Yeah, and my son starts talking all old timey. It's weird.
Oh yeah, Archie's jalopy.
Is it going to be like Erik's son? Like he can draw a Model T?
It's really weird, but my son
he's
and
hip to
daughter
it, Daddy-o.
both absolutely love it.
The last thing that I'll throw out there about 1992 before we move on to the proper true opening, because we kind of just threw this in, was that the fucking internet, the World Wide Web, like as we know it, is only like 1 year older than Image.
Oh.
So it's like...
I didn't really use the internet or like I used web crawl, like the first like internet search until I was a freshman in college.
Yeah, that
which
sounds
was
right.
95.
I think my school got AOL in like 97 or 98, and I occasionally went to Nintendo's home site, and that was like the only internet I would ever do until like 99, 2000.
You want to know a weird thing? This is the weirdest shit. And it's weird. It's even weirder when I think about it now. Like, I went to a little, like, tiny school in southern West Virginia. And, like, my graduating class was 60 people. But, dude, for some reason, in 1994, this fucking little tiny middle of nowhere school had a computer lab that was connected to the internet. I had Photoshop.
Holy.
Yep. And we had a digital camera.
Like 5 pictures.
Somebody got a grant at the exact right time.
So weirdly high tech. Like that was. I got started on Photoshop like 4.
Damn.
I remember my first professional job. Like only one person could be on the internet at a time, and we had to like
don't pick up the phone.
They could log off. So so like the next person could use it.
That's so fucking funny, dude.
Oh man.
But it's crazy to think that Image Comics is only like 1 year older or 1 year younger than like the internet as we know it.
Right.
Because obviously the internet has roots in like DARPA or whatever, but like the World Wide Web, which is like where citizens were getting on and shit.
Like I've heard stories of things like Usenet and
Right. I mean, and that stuff is older than Image, but it's funny that like the citizens' internet, like World Wide Web, like www. Image is only 1 year younger than that. So, just weird. That's enough reminiscing. I think, Craig, you definitely had the atom bomb.
What was that?
The thing that you were going to talk about.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about the
30th
I was still talking about an image thing. So, I mean, the big news we want to talk about, which is never mind the Image anniversary.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but last November marked the FINcast 10-year anniversary, and I know
Can you believe it?
I
told
can't
us
believe
they wouldn't last a year. How could we possibly talk about one comic book for more than a couple episodes?
For hours at a time.
They may have been right.
But yeah, in year 9, I know we kind of started talking about how can we celebrate our 10 years, which, you know, we've had a lot of fun together. We've you know, just really enjoyed doing this podcast, and we wanted to do something to celebrate 10 years. And we threw some ideas around, and what started as something small is kind of really blown up. And so,
yeah, originally, well, just to recap, for those who don't know, I've told this story before. Back before the FINcast was even a thing, I wanted to do a fan-made comic book about Savage Dragon, a fanzine, as you were. But at the time, it just wasn't feasible. And so we settled on a podcast instead, and, you know, it worked out. And I think Craig, last year, came back to us suggesting that we should do, like, a book of some kind. I don't think it was necessarily a like a comic fanzine that you were thinking of. I think you were thinking more like essays and like retrospectives and stuff. But I think it kind of morphed into something else as we went on.
Yeah, just a mix of comic strips, whatever, essays and stuff like that. And so
yeah, I don't think we got any essays. I'm pretty sure everyone went hard for comics.
Yeah. So basically, I think, COVID kind of helped us too. And I know I was working from home a lot and on the Facebook Savage Dragon pages, and Raven and Jim and myself started kicking around this idea of what we can do for this 10-year anniversary with this book. And we were like, well, I think we eventually said, let's try to do a comic that kind of like a fan comic with, different strips of different fans that we know. There's a lot of great artists and writers in the Savage Dragon community. And so I kind of set up a quick kind of hidden page on Facebook to start this project up, and invited a few people in our circles, people that have hosted the show with us, people that we know and like, and whose art is great and stuff like that, and just kind of polled them to see if they would be interested. And we got a really overwhelming response of people that were interested in drawing something or writing something or just contributing to this fan project, which I think we were initially thinking of just publishing ourselves and just giving it out as a prize, like a FINteresting topic prize. And
right.
That's the way we were going to go for a while. And we ended up spending a lot of that first year of the COVID lockdown kind of putting this together. It's a big endeavor. I think we have close to 20-something people that were involved, all fans of Savage Dragon. And it took a solid, what would you say, like 7-8 months, I think?
Yeah, I think
of just
started in January, December, I think, and I think we set a mid-October deadline. I think we mostly hit it. Everyone pretty much came through.
Yeah.
And so we set up this anthology of different, between typically 4 or 5 page stories, some 1-pagers, all related to Savage Dragon and all kind of like just fan fiction. Some people did all their stories, wrote them and penciled them and inked them. Some people teamed up, where we had writers and pencilers teaming up, and it was awesome. And the stuff started flooding in, and we were still kind of, figuring out what we're going to do and how many pages it was going to be, and, if it was going to be in color, what the format was going to be. And it just kind of worked out into like a 50-page comic that we were just going to self-publish and give out as free prizes on the FINcast to celebrate 10 years. And I ended up showing it to Erik, and his response kind of blew me away because he was blown away by it. And he really seemed to enjoy it. And next thing he's saying is that he wanted to put it out through Image, which knocked us all off our asses, I think, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, nobody could believe it. Like, everybody was floored when they got the news.
So we have this completed comic ready to go. Sounds like Erik's going to solicit it for the June solicitations for this year, from what we're hearing. It's a 50-page black and white kind of giant-size anthology of all fans of Savage Dragon. So it's not like the cool thing is it's not like just a bunch of guys that are jumping in and wanting to draw like a comic, and don't really know the material. Everyone involved in this we know are, huge fans of the book that just happen to be great artists or good writers and stuff like that. And I think that's what makes this work well. I mean, everything looks awesome. I think it looks pretty professional.
Oh, it does. I mean, like, listen, I want to take just a moment.
Yeah, go for it. I don't want to just be the only one talking.
No, I just want to take just a moment just to, praise our boys, like, everybody involved. Like, honest to goodness, some of these guys, if you're in the Savage Dragon community, you read Savage Dragon, you've seen them contribute to backups or, their letter hacks. You see them writing in all the time or something like that. But, like, I think everybody, as the submissions began to pour in, it became clear that, it wasn't just going to be, just some slapdash, half-assed fan project. Like, nobody gives a shit, nobody cares. Everybody was really pouring a lot of energy into making their stuff look as good as possible. And like Craig said, the end result is honestly better and more professional than I could have ever imagined. And that's thanks to everyone's hard work. And so, I can't wait for people to see this thing. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud of, like, my part in it. I'm proud of everybody that contributed. Like, this thing looks awesome as hell. And
we got a cover with Erik Larsen pencils, Mark Welser inks, and Nico's colors, which looks phenomenal. And a back cover with Scott James's pencils and inks with Nico's colors. The title is going to be Super Freaks, which is a play on what Jim was going to initially call the fanzine that he was going to create.
I always thought it was a good title because I didn't want to call it Savage Drag. Anything using the word savage or dragon, I wanted to call it, but I also wanted it to tie into what something within Savage Dragon. So I thought Super Freaks, which I always thought was a really cool way of describing superpowered individuals in the Savage Dragon universe. I thought it would make a good title, and if I had any input, it was I wanted this to be the title, and I got what I wanted.
Jim, let me take a moment to fucking say, dude, that like the listeners probably know this, or maybe they forgot. But just to recap, it's like, dude, a lot of the there was just one time where just everybody in the forum back in the old Savage Dragon forums, we were kind of feeling like, man, maybe Savage Dragon was on the ropes or something, and we needed to contribute and sort of get out there and help and make a push.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that this podcast was born of that thread.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Absolutely.
That was your idea.
I'm still waiting on that infographic, Raven.
It's coming.
Okay.
Super Freaks is about to be a reality, and that came from that thread. And lastly, I just want to say that I don't know if you guys knew this, but Dragon Fan, which did flop and fail, but Dragon Fan is responsible for the redesign of SavageDragon.com.
That is true.
Yeah.
Into a more modern blog format.
The Savage Dragon wiki was also kind of born out of a lot of those talks.
That's true.
Not doing another printed publication.
Because wasn't the wiki hosted on Dragon Fan initially, or are they linked in some way?
They were only linked. The wiki was its own thing for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, holy cow, dude! What a way to leave your mark on in a positive way, to leave your mark on the fandom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To contribute. I remember back when I was just a listener, I used to always say, and I still mean it, thanks for doing the FINcast. It enhances my Savage Dragon reading experience. And dudes, it has been a fucking blast. All this cool shit that has come out of it, holy cow.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to take a quick second, if you guys don't mind, just to list the contributors.
Please.
Of this fan publication, Super Freaks. So just real quick, just want to go down the line and just thank a lot of these people, and hopefully, the listeners will pick up this book when it comes out in solicitations. I know we'll hype it up when it's out there, but we're super excited. Just want to thank Ken Albury, David Brandstetter, John Ashton Golden, James Hansen, Gavin Higginbotham, Scott James, Nick Justice, Nikos Koutsis, Simon Millette St. Pierre, Chris McJunkin, Micah Myers, Greg O'Driscoll, Eric Schomborn, Matt Talbot, Connor James Tierney, Mark Welser and Rich Woodall and D-Fish all participated and helped, out of the goodness. I mean, they all enjoyed doing it, but no one was paid anything to do this. And they put out stuff like they were, getting paid to do it, honestly. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, they showed the fuck up. They showed up, man.
Yeah. So again, Eric's told us it should be in with the solicitations for June, which I think are probably in 2 months, maybe.
Yeah,
Does that sound right?
So. Yeah.
It's going to be called Super. Go ahead.
Yeah, their solicitations are like done 3 months out, so it'll be April, May, June. So April.
It'll be called Super Freaks. Like I said, we'll be posting it when it's up and hyping the shit out of it. And the one thing I want to say is I am pretty happy that it's coming out during the 30th anniversary of Image Comics.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy timing wise.
It is crazy. It's cool. It's going to have that logo on the front. And the crazy thing for me is, like I was just saying in the beginning of the show, my freshman year of high school, I was all hyped about Image Comics starting. Like, I was there in the beginning, like, blown away that these guys are starting this own company. I was so excited to read about these characters, and to think that 30 years later I'm going to have my name on the inside of an Image book is mind-blowing to me. So,
isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just want to say that, like, there's just, everybody, and, like, honestly, and thanks, Erik, for giving the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For all these creators. Like, I mean, like, I hate to put him on blast, but, like, Connor is, like, so young, dude. He's in, like, his early 20s. And I'm just saying, like, can you even fucking imagine? Like, like, I don't know. I'm just, like, I think that
his story is one of the coolest stories in there, in my opinion. I fucking love it. I know everyone's going to love it. Yeah.
Oh, it's great art, funny. And I mean, just everybody.
It's hard to pick a favorite in there, though, honestly. I can't stress it enough. Not because it's our thing or whatever, but I'm really excited for the fandom to see this and just to see how well everybody did with their stories.
And I know you said it, but I just want to reiterate that, like, it would be one thing if it was just a bunch of guys who just jumped in just because there was an opportunity to do something. And you could kind of tell that they didn't, like, really, or they hadn't read in a long time. If all the shorts were about Savage Dragon being a cop in Chicago. But, like, you can tell when you read this that these are fans that read the book, have read the book, they're with the book, they've been with it, and you can really feel the passion. You can really tell.
The cool thing is it's of all eras of Savage Dragon, so all these stories cover, original Savage Dragon, Malcolm, different eras, different the cartoon, whatever, different side characters.
Yeah, they don't even all star Dragon or Malcolm. And I think that's the coolest bit, is that so much is represented.
Yeah. It really runs the gambit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I mean, like you said, Craig, that's mind-blowing, man. I was just, a little kid begging mom for a comic from the grocery store. And, hey, we're going to be sitting on shelves in a comic store. It's cool.
People will be wondering, what is that? Why?
Those sons of bitches.
And the speculators will be slabbing it and saving it for college. We're going to be part of the system, guys.
It's good. It's good. Feels good. Let's get a big round of applause for us. Hear, us.
Yes, congrats, us.
Congratulations.
I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate 10 years, honestly. Like, I'm not to be a dead horse, but I just never expected this opportunity. So thanks to Erik, and thanks to all the contributors for making it something worthwhile that he'd want to publish through the Image imprint, which is insane.
Yeah, man. Honestly, thank you. Again, like, seriously, everybody really, really swung for the fences. And again, it's a broken record at this point, but just absolutely fantastic work. Can't wait for everybody to get to experience it. It's awesome.
We will probably cover it in an episode in the future.
We have to. There's no doubt.
We'll need to figure something out, trying to get maybe some of these guys on to talk about it. We'll figure that out in the future, though.
Yeah, that'd be tricky, but I would love it.
Yeah, challenging. Maybe we'll splice together a bunch of mini-sodes. We'll splice them together somehow. Bring back the Finisodes.
So we got a lot to get through on this episode since we've been away for so very long. Yeah. We've got a lot of not intense news, but a lot of it.
Yeah, I'll take point. Just a little easy news, variant cover news. Erik's been doing variant covers here and there lately, so if you're into that, if you want to snag one up, we got Killadelphia number 20 on sale in March, which is going to have an Erik cover.
Not a comic I've been reading, so I don't know anything
I don't
about
know anything about it. The cover looks cool.
Cover looks cool as shit. Werewolves. So,
is it a Jeff Lemire book? I can't remember. Don't mind me.
Read that second news item, Jim. It's kind of Jim-centric.
Yeah, this is way more me. So, if I remember correctly, during the Erik interview last time, he mentioned that he had a variant cover in the pipeline, but he couldn't talk about it because it hadn't been announced yet. And the reason he couldn't talk about it was because it was for the new relaunch of Astro City, which, for me, I'm super stoked about. I love Astro City and anything Kurt Busiek makes. This cover is actually really cool because it's also, as Erik tends to do, an homage of sorts. See, as I understand it, I don't have any of the pictures in front of me, but there are like 5 or 6 variant covers for this issue. I believe this is a one-shot to like reintroduce Astro City for the ongoing series, and it has a subtitle, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. Erik's doesn't use the subtitle; he calls it "The Return of Astro City," and he actually uses the font or the actual logo of the Return of the New Gods from DC back in the day. I don't know, Craig.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I spotted it immediately, even though I'm not a big New Gods
It's
fan.
a weird font, too.
Yeah.
It's very distinct. I'm surprised I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice touch. And, of course, the cover, I believe, has Samaritan, who is the, for lack of a better choice, it's the Superman of the universe. And I think, Dragon's on the cover, right? Malcolm's on the cover, I'm sorry.
Malcolm. It's the Return of Astro City. It's back greater than ever.
But, of course, Malcolm won't actually be in the book because Astro City is its own thing. It doesn't do crossovers with anything. So it's just a fun little cover.
Is the variants have like an image character on each variant?
I think they do. I think they all do. Because I believe there's a cover with Radiant Black, and I think the Radiant Black character's on the cover, too.
Is there one with Spawn?
In fact, I think most of the covers are like self-homages, like if Astro City was in that particular comic. I really should look up all these covers. Astro City returns.
Click.
Now you know I'm working hard.
That's compelling podcasting.
All right. So there's a Chew cover, and there's Erik's cover, and there's a Radiant Black cover, and I don't recognize this one off the top of my head. There's a what was it called? Something in the Divine.
Wicked in the Divine.
Wicked in the Divine cover, and another one I recognize, but I can't remember the name of. I'm bad at this. I should have done this in advance.
So the Return of Astro City. Yeah, I got you now. It's that cover, the Return of the New Gods, which was when they after Kirby left.
Right. Was that Jerry Conway?
Yeah, I think, and they redesigned the New Gods.
Okay, there's one for sex criminals, and there's one for Cleopatra, which I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, they're all supposed to be like references to Image Comics, and they all have like some of them are like crossovers between the characters, which doesn't happen in the comic. But they are all very cool. But of course, Erik's is the coolest of all. Especially because he not only does he use the Return of the New Gods logo, he's also got the classic Marvel retro cover.
Which is funny
design.
because I think he does that on every variant he does for anybody now.
Yeah, he loves it, and you can't fault him for it.
Nah, I love the little like inset picture on those, so you get the little the little shots of like the mini character.
Oh yeah. That is going to be on sale in March as well. So
Yes.
just heads up, if you're a variant collector, get on it.
So what about this Jack Champion comic that Erik mocked up? Those that are in the know might remember Jack Champion as the kind of character from the Giant Size Kung Fu Bible Stories collection that Erik put out. It's how many years ago now? 8 years, maybe 7 years, more or less.
I feel like it's been almost 10 at this point.
It's been a long time.
It's probably been as long since it came out as it was before, and when we got teased about it until it came out.
I just remember on the podcast talking about it for years. Remember he teased the Scooby-Doo looking van in front of the house, and we're like, he's got this project that's going to come out, and it just never came out, and eventually it did.
That was teased before the FINcast was a thing, right? I can't remember now.
In the beginning of the FINcast, when we started the FINcast, we were starting by talking about that.
I remember that for a while it was a running joke to ask Erik in the interviews when that was coming.
Yeah.
Like, we asked him, like every time.
Yeah. So, apparently, I guess on Facebook, Erik kind of posted, like, the different covers from his corner of the Image universe, like all of his books and characters that have had books. And he posted this Jack Champion book, and it was like, there was no text or anything about it. It was just kind of posted up with, like, Freak Force and Star and Vanguard and Savage Dragon, and then Ant, and then there's Jack Champion, and everyone was like, what? But he didn't really, unless you guys know, I don't think he really said anything more than he just kind of did this mock-up. I guess maybe he's toying with the idea of coming out with a book about Jack Champion, but he didn't really state it.
Yeah, as far as the comments went, I think people asked him, they're like, "Oh, new series?" And he's like, "Nah, it's just a mock-up." And so, yeah, if anything's in the works, he's keeping tight-lipped about it. But, yeah, it was still kind of a shocker for everybody to see it with, like, a proper logo and everything. Things, there was a little kind of a surprise, like, kind of just dropped on us. Cover, it's very cool. Like it was Savage Dragon collection over in France, and it's had this really sweet painted variant cover by Gerald Perel. And if you're online and you're looking for it, you probably are gonna have to do a little bit of Google foo to find this thing. It's
really interesting. I wish I knew what the contents of it were. Like that wasn't stated anywhere, was it?
It was, actually. Yeah. If you go to, we're going to do just a little bit of real-time navigating. All right. Sorry. No, this is the what podcasters people love to listen to.
We do it live.
Uh-huh. We're doing it live.
Fucking do it live. Do it live. What was that from, Craig?
Oh, that was...
What's his name?
Is Bill fucking O'Reilly?
Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly?
We're doing it live.
All right, so it says volume represents issues 193 through 198.
That's actually a lot more than I thought. That's like 5 issues.
Yeah, it says
issues.
It's going to be like 152 pages.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some... I think what's interesting about this is it's just got some cool, like it's a hardback.
Right, because it's for a European market, and that's how all comics, well, not all, but that's how, the albums are sold. So it's like being sold as like an album.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like hardback, and it's got like some cool use of black and white things. Like you'll see covers in black and white. And again, the icing on the cake is it's just got this really sweet painted cover.
Wait, you said the interiors are black and white?
No, there's color interiors, but there's what I was saying is there's some cool black and white.
I see.
Like covers and stuff.
Sorry, I'm repeating myself. What issues is it?
3 through 198.
198. Interesting. That's actually quite a time ago now. Wonder what story arc that was. I'm checking right now. So actually, that's the start of the Malcolm era. That's the start of the college letter era. Starts with the Legacy Free Comic Book Day issue, and then kind of goes from there.
I think it looks cool. Like I said, you're gonna have a tough time finding it. It's on the website editions-blackandwhite.com, and it's Savage Dragon 1 variant cover exclusive Gerald Perel, GERALDPAREL. Hey man, I hope that helps you Google it up. But yeah, it's probably in French. Just a heads up.
Oh, absolutely. But it is, I just find it really interesting that's a good starting spot if they're going to do more of this and try to like catch up to the series in French, because I know foreign editions aren't really a thing anymore. So having any attempt to get Savage Dragon out in foreign languages is quite the endeavor.
And also, if you're a hardcore collector, this would be a hell of a thing to snag up. You know what I mean?
Gavin,
I'm getting to that point myself. Like, it's kind of like I never was there until I I bought everything for the main series, and then thanks to the FINcast, I bought all of the spin-off stuff. And now I'm kind of I'm looking around like the only things I can buy is weird shit like this. You know what I mean? So I'm getting there, is what I'm saying.
Getting your fix somehow.
Yeah, gotta get it somehow, dude. Yeah, so I think that's all we got in news. Something I find FINteresting?
What do you find FINteresting?
I like it when people respond to our FINteresting topics. We had a really good one last time. We asked, should Erik have skipped issue 12 of Ant? And also, will you be buying Ant number 1? Well, we were gone for a long time, so there's a ton of letters, but I guess what I should say is there was a ton of letters is what we should have had. We didn't get shit. You guys failed us. I'm very disappointed. How'd we go 10 years with such ingrates? I don't know what else to say. I'm disgusted.
Yeah, I feel let down. But then again, we also let down a lot of people by not showing up for 2 months. Fair.
I'm just saying that,
I think we
don't break our hearts. Please write in when we ask you these FINteresting topics.
Maybe they're just embarrassed by the answer.
I still want to hear the answer. If people still want to answer it and feel pity in their heart. I still want to know what people think of that.
I do want to know. What's funny is I do actually want to know now that we've got some room and some space. Ant number 2 just came out as of this recording. And so we actually have people are in an even better place to say, should Ant number 1 have been the start? Should issue 12 have been this weird, out there thing that existed? I would still like to know what people think, if you would be so kind as to let us know.
Erik's crazy need to just kind of clean it all up. Just pretty wild to me, but
he fashions the rod for his own
my
back.
Thoughts.
That being said, we did get a letter. So it's not related to our FINteresting topic. However, I think we got it. You guys want to take it, or you want me to take it?
I'll take it.
Take it away.
What's up, FINcasters? Lifelong Dragon fan, newfound obsession with your podcast. Since there's been a huge delay between 260 and 261, I found time to finally write you guys. I'm 38 and can say Dragon is the only funny book I've followed from the beginning and have never left it off my pull list since I was old enough to have one, aside from normal breaks in comics we take through life. It's the only book I have a complete run of. I don't really have any friends who have interest in comics as I do, so I don't have anyone to discuss my Savage Dragon with, so having your FINcast is just awesome. I just started listening around episode 100 and have been obsessively consuming past episodes like back issues on average of 2 episodes a day while at work. Thank you guys so much for having such a dope show and being there for finheads like me who just can't seem to get their Larsen Dragon fill. This nearly 3-month gap between issues has been brutal, but classic episodes of your show have been clutch in dealing with my withdrawals. Bring back Dragon Trivia. Hope to become a regular writer and FINteresting conversationalist with you guys in the future. Can't wait to see what you guys have in store for future episodes. Can't stress enough how much your podcast is appreciated. Love the retros as well. Thanks. Please keep the show going as long as the comic does. Thanks again, Peter Cruz.
Sorry about our first 70 episodes sounding like they're inside a tin can.
He started with 100 though, so maybe he didn't go back. I love letters like this, man. It's a good feeling that someone enjoys this, and I think, like I said a million times, I would still do this even if we had 1 or 2 listeners or no listeners. I'd enjoy talking Savage Dragon with you guys, but it always helps when you hear a letter like this that somebody actually appreciates what you do.
It really does. And I even kind of said it at the beginning of the show, but back when I was just a listener, what Peter said, it's legit, man. It can be lonely to be a Savage Dragon fan. You don't have anybody really in your normal life to talk about it. Even the people in your comic shop are probably shitty about it. And so it's kind of like having this thing that you can crack open an issue, read it, enjoy it, and then you turn around and get to hear people also brain dump about it. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, especially when you're a super fan, sounds like Peter is, to just kind of hear some conversation about it and just, I don't know, it's just fun. I love talking Savage Dragon, so I'm glad I have this, and I can do this in real time with you guys.
It's also cool, I think, to get you and Jim's takes on things, because sometimes, I know that, you guys just have a better head for this continuity and stuff. Kind of like how Jim caught the Astro City nod. I didn't know that.
It's a curse, Raven.
Well, listen, your curse is my blessing, because I like that. I like having extra brains to bring me in on shit that I would miss.
On the other side, though, it's also fun talking to people that are in artists and writers and stuff like that, and getting your perspective on things, and just talking about this month in and month out, you just get an appreciation for things like the lettering and design choices that you just probably wouldn't really dwell on as much. You know what I mean? When you're actually sitting for an hour talking about things, you just notice things that you kind of glaze over, but they really subliminally make an impact.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. I mean, honestly, really legit. Thank you. We hope we do hear from you regularly. We got a FINteresting topic for people who don't want to tell us if Erik should have skipped issue 12. Got a new FINteresting topic, Jim. You want to take that one?
Sure. We're, being the 30th anniversary Image, we figured we'd do something related. So we're asking, what's your favorite Image-related memory/experience/series from the last 30 years? It does not necessarily have to be Savage Dragon-related. Now, granted, for a lot of us, Savage Dragon is quite intertwined with our memories of Image comics and our experiences, but, don't think that it has to be relevant to Dragon. We really just want to hear any story you might have about Image comics. Me personally, I avoided Image comics like the plague. For much of my youth, I thought it was gross and disgusting. I didn't want anything to do with that filth. But, in 2001, I discovered my folly and discovered there was at least one good comic. But I've discovered over time that many were actually pretty good, actually, I don't know if I've actually told this story. I probably have. But the way I got into Image is kind of weird. So I was a Marvel zombie. I was primarily reading Marvel comics in 2001. I had only just I just graduated high school, and I had a car and my first job, and I was living on my own, actually, through a series of events. Well, not on my own. I was living with my grandparents, but my parents were out of state, and I was on my own going to community college. Anyway, so I go in to pick up my usual comics, and on the shelf is a book called Electropolis by a guy named Dean Motor. Yeah. And it has this retro future look to it. And it was like something I'd never, ever seen before. And it just spoke to me. And so I grabbed it off the shelf, and I bought it. And I discovered, this is pretty good. And it wasn't published by Marvel Comics. How could that be? And basically, I went a little crazy. And I said, if one book is good, perhaps all books are good. So I started buying a lot of, let's generously call it, shit.
Yeah.
Because late 90s, early 2000s Image, there were some iffy books.
Oh, yeah.
But I did eventually get my hands on, first I got Noble Causes by Jay Faber, and that was exceptional. And it kind of scratched that superhero itch I still had, because I still was and still am into superhero story stuff. Sure. And Noble Causes was good, and I saw a copy of Savage Dragon 189, and I look at it, and it's the cover that has Savage Dragon and Neutron Bob on it. It's during the sorry, not 189. Whoops, issue. Actually, wait, not even that. It was issue 89. Yeah, it was issue 89. And as the cover was Dragon and Neutron Bob. And I look at it and go, I recall watching the Savage Dragon cartoon briefly when I was a child. That was shit. And so I did not buy that issue of Savage Dragon. A few weeks later, there was another issue of Savage Dragon on the shelf, and it had an all-black cover with Frank and Dragon standing over a grave, and Frank saying, "Alex is dead, Dragon, and you killed her." And I go, I remember Alex
That's a
from
great cover.
I remember Alex from that cartoon show I hated. I wonder why she's dead. And so I bought that issue.
Nice.
Because of that mystery.
That's a great cover too.
It was
to
very
pull you in.
very striking. And at that point, I was basically off to the races, because I bought that, and then I started buying up the trade paperbacks for the original run, and basically never stopped buying Savage Dragon. And that's my story.
I'd like to hear your guys' kind of in the past 30 years, maybe like 3, 4, 5 series that, other than Dragon, that you really enjoyed, like your favorite Image series.
Oh, I can do that. Let's see here.
Yeah, easy. So many good ones.
Yeah. So
it's not easy though. Like pick 4 or 5.
You want all time, because all time's easy.
Yeah. All time.
All
other
right,
than
so,
Dragon.
Astro City, number 1 with a bullet. Jack Staff, easy.
Ooh, good one.
That's a good one.
Stuff recently, Maestros, really good. Extremity, exceptional.
I like Extremity.
Saga. Saga's a great comic.
Nice. Raven?
I know these are going to sound weird, but they're just the things that come to my head. I loved Butcher Baker, Righteous Maker.
Man,
Nice.
I was thinking about that comic just the other day. It just popped into my head. I haven't read it in years.
It just had a cool. It just had a cool, and it had a great art style. Glory comes to mind.
Oh man,
That
the
was
fact
a
that
good one,
that's out of print sucks.
I know. I'm pissed that I sold my run.
And now it's locked in a vault.
Officer Down.
Yeah, good one.
It's a really to me,
visually insane.
Chris Burnham. I mean, it just put him
Yeah.
on my radar like fucking crazy. And it just really just slammed my guts out my ass with fucking crazy, like how crazy a one shot could be, right?
Yeah. He's got that Jeff Darrow detail too.
Yes. Yeah. And just crazy concepts too. Like just this guy's just fucking gets murdered, brutally murdered, and then just resurrected by mental powers, and it was just so fucking good.
Yeah.
let's see, I did Glory, Butcher Baker, Righteous Maker. Dude, I've just bought so many Image. Like, here's the thing: is like Image the company. I have followed like Image titles just so much, and I've bought so many different Image titles, and they're not all good.
And there's so many. We're not even like going to the obvious ones, like Invincible or Walking Dead or.
Right, like I kind of want to like avoid like the obvious ones, but obviously I did love Invincible and Walking Dead.
I had to put Invincible on my list because I snapped up every spin-off, every Invincible. You know, if it wasn't, it was so up my alley because I love Savage Dragon.
That period of like the early 2000s to mid 2000s when Kirkman was just all over the place. So much excitement, and even the stuff he didn't do, like Fire Breather and.
Yeah, I forgot about Fire Breather. I have Godland, which I love. Tom Sholey, Joe Casey. Remember Brandon Graham's Prophet, which was amazing. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, yeah.
Orc Stain, Stokoe's.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Remember Orc Stain?
Yep, Orc Stain.
I don't know if this really counts, but when Mike Allred brought Madman to Image and he started doing some real crazy layout stuff in that comic, which is insane.
There's a bunch of like transitionary ones that like would come to Image and go, like Madman and Bone.
And here's the thing: is if that's what put it on your radar, then that counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was an Image book to you.
And the Fear Agent issues with Tony Moore are mind blowing for me. But yeah, those are some of my favorite.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say early Gen 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually bought like the first 25 issues of that. They're sitting in a box. I should probably read some of that at some point.
I feel like here's the thing: is that just hit me as like just the right age. I was a teenager. They were teenagers. It was just like probably the only time really like that kind of shit worked on me. Like normally that stuff is just like I totally was like I would just see it and instantly know what it was and be like nah. But like something about Gen 13, like all the heroes were old and these characters were new characters, but they were like my age. And it didn't hurt that, like, you know, of course there were sexy characters. And then it
doesn't hurt it was drawn by J. Scott Campbell.
yeah. But, I mean, honestly, here's the thing is, like, to me, there's a reason why I specified early Gen 13 is because, like, I mean, I think that's the best he ever was.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, shit. But then there's, like, Danger Girl. Mm-hmm. That was probably the best he ever was, Danger Girl.
That series I think that series only was 6 issues long, too, Danger Girl. It's
very short. Very short, but amazing quality. Like, just I'm saying, like it's all killer, no filler. Like it's really good. I don't know. I mean, I've said my character. I've said my.
There's
picks.
a lot. We could keep going. I'm thinking of so many things I forgot, but for the sake of time and stuff, and to leave some to our listeners.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about it. I mean, it's the 30th anniversary. We got all year to do this.
Yeah.
Was Automatic Kafka an Image book?
Oh, geez, that name. So.
Let me take a look real quick.
Oh, Kafka. No, that didn't bring up anything.
Comic book series Wildstorm.
Oh,
yeah.
It was Wildstorm in 2002, which would have been at DC.
DC? Well, there you go.
I'm pretty sure DC Wildstorm has been sold to DC by then.
But what's so funny is that, like, I mean, I just saw the Wildstorm and bought it because of Wildstorm. So I didn't even care at that point. But, like, man, it's just, like, it's crazy what, like, an impact in my life fucking Image Comics did. Like, it's kind of shitty to put it up there, but, like, to this day, like, if you see that Image eye on the cover of an indie book, you kind of know that it, like, got vetted for quality. You're not in for some, like, you know, fish police shit. Like, it's going to be good, you know what I'm saying?
I've been spending a few months making fun of Fish Police, and every time I do, people come back to me and say, Fish Police, really, actually good. Read Fish Police.
I know the art fucking sucked, so...
I forgot about that comic. You just, like, pulled that out of, like, some dusty crevice of my memory.
I find Fish Police issues in the dollar bins I dig through all the time, and I keep telling myself, no, I'm not desperate enough yet.
Bro, that's the reason
Right
why I
next to
said that.
Dinosaurs for Hire.
Yes, goddamn, yes.
Now I'll buy Dinosaurs for Hire comics when I find them, especially the ones that were published by before Malibu.
And
And
X-Mutants.
Badger. Do you know that comic of Badger that's shaped like his head?
Vaguely.
I see Fish Police, Dinosaurs for Hire, and that comic, Badger, that's shaped like his head. So much, dude. There must have been 1 million of them. At any rate, I know we got off track there, but holy cow.
Fish Police was just
Fish
one,
Police.
one of the original like Ninja Turtle knockoffs, and apparently it was one of the better ones.
Thing is that like
Got a TV
I
show.
think not every Image book was good. I've bought some real dud Image books.
I could
but
talk about Doll Factory and Gear Station.
Image got real kind of weird for a while, but
I do think overall, if you see a book has the Image eye on it, for the most part, especially recently,
Yeah,
I
now,
feel like you're in for a
absolutely.
good time. Yeah.
The last 20 years in particular.
late 90s Image got weird.
Who was responsible for that? Valentino? Was it
I don't know.
Valentino's
I
fault?
guess some of it, but
I guess we'll
I'm
have to check
teasing.
out Valentino's history timeline of the Image universe to find out.
Warts and all. Yeah, listeners, I mean, you saw we just like totally nerded out like crazy over
we'll-
Image series and stuff. Like,
And
please,
we'll do it again.
yeah, write us and tell us your
Yeah, nerd out
Image
for
memories.
us.
Let us know.
So,
real quick question for you before we start. Did
Do
Fish
it.
Police have issues through Marvel Comics?
I think they were published through Epic briefly, yeah. Along with like ElfQuest
Jesus
and shit.
Christ. All right, that's all I needed to know. I just
Maybe-
saw a
maybe
picture, I
not,
didn't know
though.
if it was fake or not.
Yeah, Marvel was doing all kinds of weird shit, dude. Like, so it wouldn't surprise me.
As I've been deep diving more and more, I've been discovering Epic Comics published a lot of different comics in the brief time it existed. It's kind of nuts.
Dude, I didn't know that they were like responsible for the first issue of Martial Law.
Oh yeah, yep.
Like, think how weird that is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's this Judge Dredd ripoff that's like all about killing superheroes. And P.S. published by Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's. If you know anything about Pat Mills, it is a very strange marriage.
It's weird as shit, dude.
All right, I think we need to get this train moving.
Yeah, I'm starving. You know what I haven't had in 2 months?
I think
Meat
I
and
know.
potatoes.
So
Meat and potatoes.
yeah, and on the cover we have meat and potatoes. You got Paul Dragon, the meat, and Malcolm, the potatoes.
Small fry down there, all low on his own cover.
Is it me
Crash.
or is it different like card stock on this
Oh, I wouldn't know.
or cover stock?
All mine feel like glass. Could be.
Did you
It
guys?
feels different.
It doesn't, like, what's funny is, okay, so they did change printers, right? And a lot of people were talking about the change in the paper. I couldn't really tell a difference.
It
I mean,
feels
hasn't-
like
hasn't- has-
smoother.
Hasn't image paper been kind of shitty for a while?
Has it?
Like wrinkly, like it gets like wrinkly and like humidity.
I will tell you one thing is that, like, dude, I'm not one of those guys who, like, the comic print, like, he leaves fingerprints on comics. But for the last, like, I feel like 2 years, I thought, like, I was going to change a life or something. I was like, are my hands hot? Like, what's going on? Like, I feel like ink comes off on my fucking fingers all the time.
I'll tell you what, my issues for the past couple of months have been coming in all banged up. I don't know if it's the distributor or what, but our comic shop's been having a hard time keeping their copies in good condition.
For Image Comics? Because Image Comics are still
It's
coming
not
through.
Penguin. I know it's
Yeah,
still Diamond. right?
Image is still Diamond. Penguin and whatever the other company is for Marvel, or DC rather.
Yeah.
The only Image comic I have within arm's reach is you'll appreciate this, Raven. I found a copy of a Tomahawk in a bin somewhere. So I bought it.
Oh, my God.
Wait,
a
why wouldn't I
tomahawk,
appreciate that? I love that comic too.
a tomahawk
I got it
is
for-
no joke
I got it for
one of
cat.
my favorite Image memories. from the last 30 years. I'm not even fucking joking.
I don't, as you all know, I don't buy a lot of print comics, but I found this for cover price, and, it's pretty cool.
It's a good comic.
Crossover had that Tomahawk variant cover, which is pretty freaking cool, too.
Whoa. That's good shit, dude. Oh, my goodness. This paper, the only thing I'll say about it didn't feel all that different to me, but, dude, it smells crazy chemically. Like, it has a chemical smell, dude.
That's that physical media stench that everyone loves so much.
It definitely feels a lot glossier.
Yeah, it looks glossier. Thin. I don't know, kind of thin, but also glossy. It's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to the comic shop tomorrow and feel up all their comics. See what you feel like.
I don't hate it, but it just doesn't strike me one way or the other.
I think the colors look great on it.
Agreed, dude. I think the colors look fantastic. Nikos is loving that one.
Let's talk about this first page.
Yeah, dude.
So, okay, my opinions about FACO, but this is pretty funny.
Dumbest kid. Can you imagine being psyched?
There's, is Mako with a wall of blood. Blood's pouring out of his mouth, and this kid's excited because he thinks it's King Shark from Suicide Squad, obviously.
Right. Your favorite, R-rated children's movie.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you know that's a bad parent.
Yeah. Well, he gets what he deserves.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, so obviously this is commentary on King Shark and Mako kind of being the original
Shark Man.
At least I think he is, right?
Well,
about 1 year.
Yes. And of course the version of King Shark in the movie doesn't look very much like his original appearance in the comics. He looks a lot more like Mako.
Yeah.
I think originally King Shark looked like a king shark, which is a type of shark, and now he looks like a great white, which is what Mako. Well, Mako's a Mako shark, but the shark look.
Right. So I was listening to, and I don't know if you'd call it a podcast, the Comic Lounge show. It's a YouTube show. The host was interviewing Erik Larsen from a January 21st post. And Erik, they were talking about, I guess, Mako, and Erik mentioned something I kind of thought was really funny, and probably the whole reason why Mako's back is because of King Shark, where Erik was kind of annoyed that this King Shark is out and Mako was there first, and on the interview Erik's like, maybe I jumped the gun by having Mako come back because the Suicide Squad stuff didn't really make as big of a splash, and so it's kind of now he's stuck with this Mako character and making a deal of it, and it's not even that big a deal because the movie didn't really go over that well.
But the Suicide Squad is the best DCU movie by miles and miles.
And the rumor is that King Shark might be set up for a solo film.
Oh, I'm sure he is, actually, because...
Yep.
Yes.
That's a big rumor.
I mean, if Peacemaker can get one...
Yep.
Which is also a really good show, by the way.
Because here's the thing, is the DC, they want to do that reverse Avengers thing, where they have a group movie and then they spin off solo films from it.
Makes sense.
And Peacemaker got his HBO Max series, so rumor has it, King Shark's next.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. And you've already got Harley Quinn as a solo film, so there's no reason to not try to do it. So maybe Erik didn't jump the gun because kind of get the feeling we're in for a King Shark, at least HBO Max show.
Right.
That would be kind of weird.
People loved King Shark, dude.
People love these kind of characters, Craig. It's what they're into. Lovable, bloodthirsty monsters.
Well, I gotta say
Peacemaker.
I do love my Mako, so I guess I kind of get it.
Now me,
I was laughing this whole sequence.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. Why aren't you laughing?
I think it's awesome, dude. And it's a funny segue into bro, Malcolm deep-throating that hot dog. And look how distressed the guy in front of him is.
What the hell are you doing?
Wow, he's all throat. Malcolm's the throat goat.
I don't understand why Malcolm doesn't like hockey. Hockey's fun. The best part about hockey is that when you get penalized, you get removed from the game. Like no other sport does that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have power plays. Can you imagine if football and basketball did that? It'd be so much better.
I probably wouldn't like hockey if I had to watch the Maple Leafs either.
Well, okay. To be fair, yes. See, I don't follow hockey, but I know the Maple Leafs.
This page kind of shows Malcolm a little bit discontent with Canada, which is kind of like, got to wonder, like, is that planting the seeds or?
Well, clearly what he needs to do is get into curling, because curling is the sport of kings.
Are you joking?
I grew up in curling. We got Canada.
No, you didn't. You did not, did you?
I lived on the border. So story time, Jim. Story time. we lived on the border, so we got Canada stations across the river, and every winter, you turn it over to the Canada channel, and there'd be curling, and I loved watching curling. It looks amazing. I wish I could play.
Wow.
It's so cool. Haven't you ever played those games in bars where no, you're a teetotaler. You probably don't go to bars. There's a game in many bars, or at least there used to be, where you have this long wooden table that you slide these metal pucks across.
The little metal disc, yeah.
Yeah, and you just shoot.
More like shuffleboard.
Yeah, exactly. It's shuffleboard, but on ice. It's amazing.
Yeah. You just gotta squeegee like the ice back and forth or whatever.
Yeah, but the guy with the frickin' puck, that's the guy I want to be.
You talk to a guy for 10 years, you think you know him pretty good, right? And then you realize
for Olympic curler.
Yeah, you realize you don't know shit.
Curling rules. Don't let anyone tell you different.
I'm shocked. I just want to appreciate that everybody in this crowd has unique masks. It's not something you really have to do, but
right.
Like if you walk around, you in real life, everybody has different masks. It's kind of a nice little touch.
Make it your own.
Yeah.
We got Maxine back to her old self.
Love it. You gotta understand. She's watching Malcolm deep throat that dog. She's getting ideas.
Can't believe how
Guys?
quick he goes off, though.
Yeah. What's funny is, man, a wet blanket Malcolm, this whole issue, turning down fun left and right.
I mean, he's been like this for a while. He is not into this, and I can appreciate that. It's
hates
fun.
It's kind of weird to get a blowjob in the middle of a hockey game.
It's really awkward.
Oh, give me a break. Like you'd say no. Are you kidding me? You guys acting all tough.
Intimacy, Raven. It's about intimacy.
If your hot to trot Asian wife fucking gave you the, hey, guess what's happening now? I don't think you would pull a Malcolm Dragon and pull her off. I don't think you would. It's one thing to say it on this podcast. It's another thing to do it in real life, and I don't think you. What sporting event would you?
No.
Curling.
Yes, curling. As I watch intently.
Jim's just like sweating as he looks at the guy with the thing. That's gonna be me.
Let's talk about, let's talk about Roughneck.
Hey, Roughneck, it's good to see you again. It's been a while. I mean, you've been around lately. You're one of like the heavies of the Vicious Circle right now, and that's right. You got into a fight with Canadian not that long ago.
Vicious Circle villains never use the door.
Oh no, God no! That's how you know you mean business. This is a nice place too. Ruining that penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a Dart's old pad.
Yeah, Dart's dead though. Power vacuum time. That means everyone's coming through the walls.
Dude, his disrespect for Barry not Barry, but whatever the kid's fucking
Well,
name is.
We've established in recent times that he is very much a chauvinist, which makes sense. Look at the guy.
It's just hilarious. I'm just saying, backhanding a kid. What a jerk.
Walk.
Beat it, brat.
Guess he doesn't have Mako's strength yet.
It's good. It's good stuff.
It's a crazy relationship that like Insect's been building now. Like just like a motherly figure, which I just don't know where Eric's gonna go with this.
But she seems to be actually into it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have...
doesn't seem too much of an act for her.
It's cool to have not everyone in the vicious circle be, like, completely relentlessly awful.
Yeah.
Bros, Malcolm's face in panel 1... There's a lot of good faces in this issue. Like, there's a lot of good faces, but Malcolm's face in panel 1, hilarious. We learned that Maxine's off the couch and on a stick.
Do we see a little sideways monkey mouth going on in that first panel?
We do, dude.
Yes.
Sideways monkey mouth. It's classic. It's a Craig classic.
It's just I guess Maxine's over her problems, or because I wouldn't say she's overcompensating, because she's always like this. I don't know.
I think that like if there's anything to witness, it's that Malcolm's like on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Here's the thing. All right, so here's a dynamic. I get it that there's going to be that Savage Dragon fan who hates Maxine, and he reads this issue and he's like, ugh, like Maxine's her old self, or oh, this again, or whatever else. But the dynamic that I think you should pay attention to is that Malcolm doesn't just go along. Like, in early issues, Malcolm kind of just like, okay, like every day. Dude, wet blanket Malcolm, dude. Like, well, he's over it.
He's the adult in the room, which is a nice dynamic, because Dragon was kind of like the ladies' man and always just kind of like everyone rolling their eyes because he was reckless and stuff. So Malcolm's a lot different, which I think is pretty cool.
Malcolm is square.
Yeah, I think that's a cool, and again, it's kind of a change. Like, I think it's kind of an interesting, like, character development, because again, you know, younger Malcolm just was super down. He was down for anything. Not older Malcolm here. You know,
the panel on the page where she's dancing on the table at the bar, and like everybody's looking at her, and he's just like holding his head, like, God damn.
This is gonna be a viral video.
Yeah, I keep wondering where this is going, or if this is just what life is like, and it will always be like this.
Seems that way.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, like, I don't think it needs.
Doesn't need to go anywhere exactly. It can just be this is Maxine and Malcolm's relationship.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that necessarily it's building towards anything other than to show that Malcolm has changed. Like, Malcolm is on top of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, there's your development. It's like Maxine hasn't changed, and I don't know really if you should change her. I mean, if Maxine suddenly became a square, that'd be pretty lame. But to have Malcolm kind of like grow up a bit, I don't know. It's cool. I like it. It's a good solution to the Maxine problem, finger quotes, because you get to still have Maxine be fun, but you get to have Malcolm show character development. You know who also has cool character development?
Samurai.
Goddamn Samurai.
Man, she's cool.
She is cool, dude. I like it. Kicking some fucking ass in this.
I love when Roughneck gets his head pounded and he's got the bolts that fly out and then they magically appear.
They grow back.
He's the weirdest character. I know we keep saying we've said this before, but he's so strange.
I want you to take. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I want you to take a look at his forehead. Yeah. In that panel where he's getting kicked. Do you see that he actually has like thread?
Screw hole.
Yeah.
He's got the thread in his meat.
I don't think we ever got like an origin for him. Like, is he a Johnny Redbeard creation, or is he just
I think
guy?
It was just Erik kind of teasing Dave Johnson design.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Said he was going to make the ultimate Dave Johnson character.
So the weird thing about him, besides everything, is like he wears the red, white, and the
patriotic pants.
But the thing is, he wears the patriotic pants, but he's got like the English flag on his face, because that's just the red cross.
Well, what's so funny is I was shocked to learn that like he was a poke at Dave Johnson, because when I saw him and didn't know any better, I thought it was a poke at Hellshock.
Who's Hellshock?
Oh yeah.
Jay Lee's.
The Jay Lee character, but I think he was out before that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know that now.
Well, I think why Roughneck is so memorable is just because he kind of fills that role of being a tough guy meathead so well.
And he's just made so many appearances.
Yeah, he's good. He's good background filler. He's good to have in a fight scene. He can punch up with Dragon and generally not get killed. He's just kind of a good all-around character to just have around as like a vicious circle flunky.
Yeah.
We get Malcolm bringing Party Girl home.
You know what's funny on the panel when he's bringing her home is like the shorthand for like the TV turning off, but TVs don't really do that anymore.
No,
and
that's
so, like younger kids will never know what that means. It's kind of funny.
That's also
like,
really square TV too. It's TVs aren't shaped like that either.
Yeah.
Malcolm doesn't watch a lot of TV, I guess.
Like, my kids will never know what that shorthand means. Like, what the hell is that?
God, Craig, that's so funny you pointed that out, dude. I wouldn't have thought that. Like, I saw that, and I just knew what it was and didn't even think about it.
You figure does, but...
God, that's hilarious.
You can hear that. Pictures you can hear.
Yeah, it makes it... Pew!
That old CRT tube.
Bro, we were online, and somebody was like... It was a pixel artist. And... a lot of pixel artists, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. A lot of pixel artists, they like the way the old CRT TVs looked, like with pixel art over them. So they'll emulate those scan lines to kind of make their pixel art look like CRT TVs. So they use a CRT filter, right? Well, somebody jumped in the comments and they're like, "Well, I don't know what critical race theory has to do with this."
Oh, no.
But dude, that's the comedy, is he was too young to know.
What cathode ray tube was.
Yeah, I was like, cathode ray tube, aka old television. he didn't know what a fucking CRT TV is. I was like, that's funny.
We were in a hotel last summer, and my in-laws were in another room, and they called our room, like it has like the real telephone. And my daughter didn't know how to answer it. She's like, didn't know where to speak into.
Yeah, where's the green button? Where's the...
Yeah, she was just lost. I had to laugh.
Well, that's right, because smartphones don't have speakers. They're like integrated.
Right.
Yeah, she never used like a real telephone.
Think how primitive, like, here's a little speaker that goes to your ear, and then a little microphone that goes to your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Malcolm's got the old TV.
So
I like their relationship. I think Malcolm and Maxine have a great relationship, and I like having Paul and Alex around as just like babysitters, and like they're good background characters. You know what I mean?
With his bionic Twinkie fingers.
Right. Bro, how funny is this segue? That like he just like gets smashed out onto the fucking car and then just starts another fight.
Roughneck getting. You talking about Roughneck?
yes,
Yeah.
Walks
Just
right
like-
into him.
Just like he was getting his ass beat and then just immediately gets up and just winds up in another completely different fight.
Mako's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Punching him in the back of the head after he just fell how many stories?
classic. It's good shit, dude.
And in addition to getting his screws knocked loose, now he's losing molars.
They grow back, right?
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah. Did we know his name was Millhouse? Or is that...
I think we did.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I nominate...
talked about him being a serial killer.
Yeah.
I nominate that for the name of this episode.
Oh, I got a name already.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Say it or we won't remember it.
Oh, crap.
Oh, no, dude.
I thought of it a few minutes ago.
Oh.
And now you brought it up, and now I can't remember. I had it. Oh, right, yeah, The Secret Origin of Curling.
Secret Origin of Curling? Oh, my goodness. Mako just beating the shit out of him. I love it, dude. I love that he's not giving him any respect just because he's Mako.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm the new Mako. And he's like, whatever, Millhouse. It's so good, dude.
Interesting that apparently he had powers when he was the executioner. I assumed he was just a
part of the vicious circle. Right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that presumes you have superpowers. I guess I just thought he was just a bad Punisher ripoff.
Yeah, he was a freak.
Because he had like a skull emblem and like was a serial killer. He must have been a freak of some kind. So little did he matter that we don't even know what his powers were.
I'm not going to go on that rant. I already talked about it once, but yeah, not a fan.
Although I will say, you're right, Craig. The fact that he was such a blank slate makes him really dull. But here, though, they're at least using that as like part of like the banner, part of the conflict, is that no one respects him. Roughneck doesn't respect him at all.
Even though he is functionally Mako now, Roughneck still just doesn't give a shit about him.
Does not, because he considers him a nobody. Now Roughneck, of course, is an egomaniac, but at least they acknowledge the fact that he's a nobody, or at least was a nobody.
He's gonna care real soon.
Yeah, spoiler. Dudes, real quick question on Angel and Frank Jr. Leaving or whatever. It just, as I was reading this, didn't Angel kind of have baby fever for a minute?
For a minute, yep.
Was that ever like officially, waved away, or are we just like forgetting that?
Like she wanted Jack back, right?
She wanted Jack she wanted Jack to know she was his mother. And
did she also want Jack back though?
I don't know. Think she went that far. I think she was just kind of and I think part of being with Frank is to take care of his daughter.
Right.
So, I don't know.
But she was being a real asshole for a while.
Yeah. It's kind of like just seeing her just chilling around like in a like robe or whatever. It's kind of like, huh. And you're talking about moving like it's no big deal, but it's like, man, you were kind of a bitch there for a hot minute.
Well, it's part of the real-time nature of the book, I guess, is just that, time has passed. And
she let it go.
She's let it go or she's playing the long con.
All right. Just curious how you guys felt about that
maybe she
that nugget.
Maybe she hasn't gone back to the U.S. yet because she's going to steal him away.
Steal Jack. That'd be a fucked up little twist.
Drive them both directly into the St. Lawrence.
Frank's bowling or something. He's kidnapping Jack.
Dude, what's with Samurai's speech that she keeps repeating? There's a hierarchy, a chain of command.
I think
she says it twice in there.
Well, I think she's all about order, and she considers herself to be second command under Dart, and so basically, in order for her to express her authority, she has to express to everyone else that the chain of command matters, and it matters to me.
Yeah, she's also about to climb that chain of command.
Oh yeah, she wants to be the boss, so she needs to. Her plan is basically to reiterate the fact that she is second command, Dart is gone, I'm the boss. That's how it works. So everyone else needs to get in line, or we're going to get tossed out of a building like Roughneck.
Yeah, you can see she's kind of establishing a pecking order, like even before she makes her announcement. like kicking Roughneck's ass and then beating the shit out of Insect. Like she's letting people know, hey, dude, I'm the muscle.
And I think she wants Insect to like be her second command, but Insect's priorities have changed, and so she's got to lay down the law on Insect now.
I love how like the two main like Vicious Circle female villains both have like full face masks.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is.
I really hope that like underneath like Samurai's mask is some just hideous like melted face or something, like some hot body with like just a mask with a breathing apparatus because she's just like horribly disfigured, and we get like some kind of close-up panel on it.
Craig's rooting for the butterface.
No, she just wears this for COVID. I don't think Insect wears a mask. I think that's just what she looks like.
You think she's just like a robot head?
I think she's just a common writer. Yeah.
That's cool. I'd be cool with that too.
I think that's just her face.
I think it is just, again, it's so funny to hear everybody like being like, stupid brat, half-breed, like talking so much shit about Billy. It's Billy.
Oh, that's going to bite Samurai in the ass. Billy's going to like knock her head off one of these days.
Yeah, when his powers kick in.
Yeah.
I love the panel how Samurai just flips Insect. Like Erik could have just gone for the quick punch or backhand or something, but I love the whole like flip over ram.
It is cool. We're getting to see Samurai kick a lot of ass, and you know, Dart was kind of like this acrobatic like ass kicker.
Yep.
So it kind of makes a lot of sense that Samurai would also be like, you know, like the big kick to Roughneck and then flipping Insect. Like it kind of makes sense that she'd be acrobatic too.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, Dart was kind of putting together like an all-female leadership thing. That was kind of the thing she was going for. Mm-hmm. And clearly Samurai wants to maintain that.
Right.
I don't know that she does, and we'll talk about it when we get to that panel.
Dude, I gotta say one thing art-wise, I love when Erik does the heavy line weights, like the big chunky inks, like the last couple of panels here, like Samurai's leg and stuff like that. It looks so good, especially with Nico's colors. It's just good stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna praise the balls off of Nikos' coloring here in a minute. There's a panel where I'm just like, God damn, dudes, this like huge shot of her getting the shot in her tongue.
Yeah.
That is fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Who is that? Is that Amy?
I think
Gotta
it's
be Amy. Gotta be Amy, right? Maddie's the little one.
Yeah.
God, so funny, dude. So funny.
She's definitely got her... Oh, wait. I was going to say she had her mother's mouth, but Angel was the one who had a giant mouth when she was a baby. Yeah.
We've seen Maxine do big mouth, too, though. Like when she does the cartoon big mouth.
But it is hilarious that they have to go through the tongue because they can't penetrate the skin. And nobody thought this through.
Or that Walden Wang thought it would be a good publicity stunt. It's like, dude, don't they have healing factors?
Yeah, they probably don't even need it.
Yeah,
because he did say it was just kind of like a promotional thing to get other kids to get their shots.
It took me a minute to realize the cameraman behind her ear had on one of those clear face masks.
Yeah, I thought it was like some like superhero mask or something.
Right.
Like I thought it was reversed. I thought the mask was everything else, like covering his eyes and stuff.
Yeah,
it's good. It's just another nice little touch. Bros, talk about Erik using the comic for a sounding board.
Oh yeah, this.
And yet it is hilarious because if anybody was going to get COVID, I mean, come on, it'd be Hortus,
would
right?
have to be Hortus.
That panel of Hortus sick in the bed.
And it makes sense not because Rex would be an anti-vaxxer, despite the fact that he's like a genius super scientist, because he's also a conservative asshole and always was. Mm-hmm. So I guess he rubbed off on Hortus in their time together.
Probably thought she didn't need it. You know?
She also seems, I mean, she's kind of a dimwit, so.
Yeah, that's right. She also would. She would probably watch a lot of Fox News because she just watches a lot of TV.
Oh, we're getting polarizing. I can hear listeners getting scared.
But this is an interesting page just because, you know, he dedicates an entire page to this conversation, and he packs it in, presumably, I assume, for sharing around the internet, because I've seen this page shared around a bit since it came out. Yeah, a few times. Now, granted, a few of those are negative comments, commenting about how much words were packed in. Now, and granted, that was, you know, the intent.
Right.
He should just keep politics out of his comic.
And there's definitely that aspect. And I won't... This page is good. This page is clearly sets out to have a goal and explain the goal and meets the goal. I just think it also... I think it needs to be said for absolute certain because, you know, Erik's puts his views into his comics, and I think that's important. I just find it really weird that it's Lightning Girl who's, like, the one Malcolm's talking to about this. I don't know. I mean, her character isn't really strongly defined yet, but it's just...
It's his family member.
Yeah.
I mean, he thinks of her as like a sister or whatever.
Yeah, they talk a lot, like in the past issues.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes more sense to me to have him have this conversation with her than with, like, Barbaric. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I guess her skepticism based upon, you know, history makes sense.
Bro, listen, I'm just going to say that, like, I had this same conversation with two different friends.
Oh, yeah?
Where they, like, where they talked about the Tuskegee thing, and I had to tell them. I was like, look, dude, that's fucked up. It was almost the same thing. I'm just saying I literally lived this conversation.
Oh.
Like, yes, like, for real. And I'm just saying,
I guess that was my trepidation about this page is that,
no, dude,
is this a realistic conversation? Would this happen?
Dude.
Apparently the answer is yes. So, okay.
I had this conversation a minimum of twice, maybe more. But, like, for sure, literally, the words Tuskegee got dropped, like, at least twice in my life I can think of. I think more than that. But, like, I know two people right off the top of my head that I 100% had to have this conversation with. Literally, they were like, "Oh, remember the Tuskegee?" And I was like, "Yes, that's..." The thing is like, you can't argue that wasn't fucked up, but, like, also, this is medicine, so... You know, you can't really compare the two things. Yeah, it's a realistic conversation. Like, I literally had this conversation.
Can I just say one thing with Sarah? I love her design. It's one of my favorite recent designs. It's simple, but it looks great. She looks like a modern, what a modern Rapture would.
You must mean Marcia.
I mean Marcia. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, Lightning Girl.
Yes.
I just think it's such a great take on, like, a modern day Rapture.
Agreed. Yeah, she looks awesome. Even just hearing this panel, like,
I like her boots.
Yeah, like every time, like, he puts something.
Me too.
Like, it's very simple, but I think the boots make it. I don't know. He just draws her very well. Like, it's always a good panel when she's in it.
You hit the nail right on the head. It's, like, iconic. Like, it's simple, but it's totally memorable. Question for you guys. If Sarah dies, like, who takes care of her kid?
I would say probably Barbaric and Ricochet.
Follow-up question. Her kid's still not... like... You have the kid at the side of the bed. Like, we still haven't seen her kid. It's so long.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think Erik feels like drawing it.
It's one of the mysteries that is killing me. One of the Savage Dragon mysteries that's killing me. And then the moment we've all been waiting for.
Love this page.
Yes.
The colors, Roughneck's face with, like, the scream.
You always think about Roughneck as one of those like untouchable characters because he's always just around.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's not a major character. He doesn't have a significant role in anything, but he's always just there. And now you got to wonder, what does this mean for Roughneck? At the minimum, he's got no legs.
Right.
At the maximum, well, he'll be dead.
I think he shows up with like a lower tank body with a bunch of bolts in it.
That would be a fun way to go.
Well, also too, it creates a dynamic of if okay, so if Roughneck lives, does this create a new dynamic? Like, is he loyal to Mako now, like out of fear? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna like go hardcore vengeance? Like, are him and
Mako
Mako
be loyal to anybody that ate your legs?
Out of fear and intimidation. I'm just saying, Overlord and Dart like
what
kill
if
people all the
what
time.
if they threaten to eat your dick?
I know, dude. I was like, that last panel, he is absolutely telling me he's going to eat his dick.
I love that with the panel with the teeth and just his eyes like, Meanwhile, he's on fire.
Right. Cooking. He's cooking alive. Yeah, psychological damage when you wake up and someone's eating your fucking leg. Yeah, Craig, you praise the art and the colors, but I just want to like reiterate, like just the angle on the foot that like Mako's gnawing on, like just the like expression of pain and like the panel and like all the burst of light coming out of his like face and the way Nikos did that, like, oh man, this page was so good, dude.
Right. Love the way like the fire just glows on everything.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Like, just look at that last panel with the teeth and, you know, and the way that the light plays off of Roughneck's face. It's so good.
Yeah. Excellent. Strong as a motherfucker, dude.
This is probably Jim's favorite topic.
Which one?
Page.
Oh, right.
Malcolm's blood.
Oh, yeah. More Malcolm's blood.
Hey, question. The follow-up question. I forgot to ask. So, guys, if you freak out on Hortus, like, what happens? Does she become, like, human?
She's
like,
half... We already actually know the answer to this.
alien,
She's half alien. She'll stay the same.
Okay.
I believe... Yeah, I believe she got hit by the Nega Bomb and nothing happened to her. I don't think she was on... I don't think she was one of the ones on Vanguard's ship.
Okay.
I have to double verify that.
She's half alien, and they even imply that she's kind of related to the Triceratons and the Ninja Turtle comic.
Got it.
Yeah. So the rule is, if you're an alien or a god, negation doesn't work on you, or you work on your physiology.
What would you negate to if you were an alien?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. If we don't get to see, like Fin Hortus, like, you know, Hortus with a fin.
Yep.
I'm gonna be pretty sad, dude.
What was the whole point of this exercise?
Mm-hmm. Yep. If we don't get to see that cool visual, I'm gonna be pretty sad.
How do we stop this whole solve everything with blood?
I mean, I don't personally...
once you establish it, you kind of always have to acknowledge it.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you know, we don't have to go into it again, but I'm just saying, to me, it's like, hey, dudes, you know, do you want Hortus to die of COVID?
I mean...
Maybe.
Do you?
I mean, she's on a ventilator, so I guess her chances are slim.
She's not doing good. I mean, that's what
No.
Marcia says.
But I mean, she's also... That's also... It's just also kind of weird that she's the one also on the ventilator. I mean, it makes sense for her character, but her alien physiology, can she even get sick? I guess so.
Yeah, clearly. I don't think it does. I don't think it's weird or problematic. I mean, she breathes air.
Yeah. I mean, animals get COVID.
That's true.
Cats and dogs confirmed dead. from it.
But I feel like Sarah's character has run its course for me. Like I don't get excited or any like. There's some characters I'm like I'm excited to see in the pages. I'm not really. I've never been a huge Horridus fan, to be honest. I wouldn't if she passes. She's got a kid anyway. They can focus on the next generation. I'm not going to be super like bummed. But that's just me.
So you are hoping she dies?
No, I'm not hoping. I'm just not going to be like. It's not one of those characters where I'm like, oh, I hope Erik never like touches this character.
Yeah,
I agree. She honestly hasn't done a hell of a lot in a long time. It's unfortunate. So her loss would not be huge to me either.
I think she's a strong visual. I mean, like one of the best that Erik has made. But I just can't disagree with you guys that she just hasn't had a chance to shine in a long time. Like even as
I mean her shtick is like just being the dumbass kind of like.
See, and that's
super ditzy.
And that's the unfortunate part is when she, very briefly, when she became a mother for the first time, I actually thought her character was turning like a new chapter in her life, but it never really developed anywhere because it seemed like she was more on the ball once she had a kid.
Yeah,
then we didn't see her for long tracks of time, and now she's dying of COVID. So,
look, I'm not letting us get away from this page without complimenting Angel's ass.
Yeah,
just saying, good job, good job, everybody. And, this was the page I was gonna say. Like, dude, in an entire issue of really awesome coloring. Something so painterly about like Angel in the car.
Yeah, okay, that panel. I thought you were talking about the Mako Roughnecks page.
I mean, definitely that one, but I'm just saying.
But you mean specifically this panel where the lighting is low, so it's kind of got a blue tint to everything.
Yeah, just kind of like a blue tint and like just kind of like. I don't know, just the lighting, like where she's in the car and everything's cool, and then he's out and it's warmer colors. Like, so good, dude.
Yeah.
Just
Nikos is a treasure, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, when you compare the stuff, like when you just see how much he's changed over the years, it's just amazing to like see the stuff where he's at this point. And I think he just found the sweet spot, you know.
Yep.
He's tried so many different styles. I think maybe a lot under Erik's suggestions, and I think they just found what works the best.
Yeah. But I mean, like just the painterly, like it's so crazy to get a book where there's just so much texture and just rim lighting and like, man, just Savage Dragon is still one of the best looking books I've got. I mean, in my pull box.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really like Malcolm's facial expression when he says, "What's going on, Paul?"
Yeah. The colors on that are amazing.
He does not want to deal with this guy's shit.
It's great, dude.
I love the fact that Malcolm does not like Paul. I love it.
I think Paul drops a really interesting bomb here, where he's talking about how like the vicious circle's kind of whittled down a lot. It's kind of like crazy information to just learn. Like, you know, and we've been picking them off actually.
Yeah,
like,
well, there was that massacre, of course, and a bunch of them got taken to prison who didn't get murdered. Mm-hmm. And the vicious circle's always been having recruiting drives.
You think?
But they're probably at their
Sorry.
The insect's a good thought. I actually thought it might have been. Actually, who was my suspect? I was going to say Mako, actually, but that doesn't sound like something he'd do.
It's Pug Fugly. I don't think Mako. I think Mako's just some brute dumbass. I don't think he's.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it. You're right. But did you notice something Paul said?
Poison dart.
He calls Dart Poison Dart.
Love it.
He's letting some of his memories leak through.
Love it, dude.
Although, to be fair, calling Allison Dart Poison Dart with the fact that there's another dart kicking around wouldn't be that bad of an idea. Just to differentiate her.
Exactly. Like, I think we even made the case on a FINcast. We're like, give her a name. Like, you know, call her anything. And then, like, I think we even, after Graphic Fantasy, like, Dart was listed as Poison Dart.
Right.
In the Graphic
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
That's why Paul's calling her that.
Right, but I think we were like, oh my god, dude. Like, Dart was originally called Poison Dart. Like, you could totally use that. It's perfect. I'm just saying it's great. I love it that it's finally actually in the book, and Paul saying it makes nothing but sense. This other page, what was kind of what I was talking about when I said I don't know that Samurai is into the girls' club thing after all.
Yeah, because she's got. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about this. How she's got her muscle now.
Yeah.
Pucker and Braun.
Braun
Strowman.
I love that Pucker, dude. He's kind of cool looking.
Is he?
The big lip thing, the weird girdle thing. He's just gross looking.
He is gross. Our boy Fountainhead right there. Love him. Got to keep Fountainhead in the
Death gaze with the weird eye thing. I think that's volcanic, right?
Maybe.
I believe, like, the gal under Fountainhead's fist is the gal that we saw getting in the car with her children.
Yeah, with the what was her name? Bare Hands. That's it.
Bare Hands. Yep.
Although, yeah, she had like. Well, this one has purple hair. Did she have purple hair? I can't remember.
I think she did.
That's Sickly, the one with the. She's in that. I don't know.
Maybe yeah, you can't tell her from here, but she's got like green skin.
Yeah,
I
think that's Sickly because she has those metal like hand things, and she shows up later on.
This is nice though because you get to see guys like Vane, like, you know, it's cool to see Vane like around. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We haven't seen her since that backup.
There's a lot of guys in these coming panels that we see that we haven't seen in a while.
I thought we saw Vane when the Vicious Circle was coming to Canada. I could have swore she.
Oh, we did. I'm
Correct.
pretty sure one panel.
Correct. Yep. My bad. I'm wrong.
So, so basically we have the usual Vicious Circle leadership drive where one person says, I'm the boss, and then some tough guy in the audience says, no, you're not, and then they promptly get their ass kicked.
Dude, the line... I was going to say the line, know your place, Bile, your muscle at best, is great.
Bile's got a pretty good, like, design himself. He's got a pretty... Well, it's a really straightforward one, but I dig it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Craig?
No. I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, Bile. Sorry, dude. You're just not leadership material.
Is Myotis the bat guy that's behind Bile?
He is who?
Like, once.
I feel like I've never seen him in my life, dude.
He probably
He showed
knew.
up in Savage Dragon 132. How do you not remember?
Oh my god, dude.
I will say this: the current like rabble VC goons, you can tell that the VC is kind of on the ropes when your biggest members are Samurai, Insect, Brawn, and
Bile.
and Bile. I mean, those are probably your. Oh, I guess Bare Hands and Wither, Sickly. I would say they're I mean,
I was looking.
There's no Powerhouse. There's no Brainy Ape. There's no like Cyberface or like the. You can definitely tell the VC is not what it once was.
Yeah, they're struggling for sure.
What about Larry Lucifer in Foreplay?
Iconic, memorable. I would take low blow at this point for some cred.
Bug Eye, Bile, Death Gaze.
How dare I disrespect Larry Lucifer?
Hey, man. We get a full body shot of him this time.
Is that the dude in blue jeans?
No.
With like snake hair?
No. Larry Lucifer is on the last page in fisticuffs with Paul.
Oh, yeah, he's like devil horn guy.
Oh my God, really? Wow. Craig, I thought that was a generic character. You are off the rails, dude.
Pug Ugly is in the middle and Foreplays on the other side.
It's the dude with the multiple arms, right?
Yeah, it's like the Demon Crew.
And I guess they are like on the fucking ropes, but like Braun's a heavy hitter, dude.
Braun's probably the heaviest hitter they have.
I'll never forget that scene of everyone else was fucking exploding
Yep.
from dragon
Yeah.
blood, and like it just like came out his eyes.
Yeah, Braun is no slouch. He's a Zeke level threat.
I was gonna say that moment kind of cemented him in my mind as like top tier.
Yeah, he's literally, I think, the only person who's ever survived Chosen One blood. Period.
Yeah, it just sort of like came out his eyes. I was like, God damn, what a brute.
We're missing a few heavy hitters here that, you know, like, I know not Roughneck, Rogue Warrior. Isn't he still around?
He's in prison.
Or is he
He got arrested. He's captured. That's the other thing is whoever didn't die got taken in.
Or Roadblock, or I don't know. I feel like there's more. There's bigger. We haven't seen like Chaos and Control, right?
I think Chaos is kicking around. I think Control's dead.
Okay.
Craig, who's the robot dude on the panel where Bile is getting thrown into a robot dude and the sound effect is Runch? Who's that?
Tech Head, I think.
Cool looking guy.
Yeah, Tech Head showed up in Savage Dragon 115.
Who's the weird guy with like the weird thing on his head in the next panel?
That's Death Gaze. He's on the very first panel with Samurai, like approaching the crowd, and he's like looking in the opposite direction.
No, I think you mean like Jim. Do you mean like the dude with like the zits on his head?
Yeah.
Oh, Split Head.
Something about that guy's look fucking grosses me out.
Split Head showed up in Savage Dragon 216.
He has the powers of pus.
Yeah,
He reminds me of those little toys that you squeeze and like they like
Yeah.
those things like will pop up.
You know, they make that noise.
And then a far more famous thing appears. The Power Glove. Where the hell does that thing keep coming from?
Alex,
It
dude.
never goes away.
I guess it's in Alex's closet. Exactly.
You gotta imagine if you're Alex, you want to keep that bad boy on check. You know what's crazy about the Power Glove? Paul's using it on his human fist.
Well, it makes sense.
Does it?
One robot fist and one regular fist with the Power Glove.
I suppose. I mean, if it was me, I just feel like I would want, like, you know, Paul's pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Who did he knock out? I feel like we had a pretty decent show of strength from Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost his arm to Mako, who was a heavy hitter.
Okay, you're
I
right.
think he threw down with Malcolm, but he ran away. Then came back. Trying to think if he was in any other fights yet. I can't recall.
When he first was talking to Malcolm right after his appearance, he fought one of those mind control guys.
Yeah,
Mind
that was mind warp or mind.
Mind warp sounds right.
Yeah, he got mind controlled, and then Malcolm ran off, and then Malcolm came back, and I think.
Stomped him to death. Or something
But I'm pretty sure Paul was on the back foot in that fight against Malcolm. I think Malcolm is clearly way stronger.
Right.
I will say this for Paul. He is definitely not the charismatic, scene-stealing winner that the original Dragon was.
No, he's kind of a goober.
Yeah. He definitely is like, oops.
Oh, man, he's not as powerful.
Fight for your life. Any more bright ideas, Paul? Fight for your life. I mean, besides that.
I
good.
love that the last panel where it's just a bunch of squiggles and it looks like bare hands flying through the air. It's so neat.
It's like almost like a cartoon fight cloud.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, dude. This was the first one after the long hiatus, right?
Yeah.
Feels like
I believe Erik said that this was the one he was struggling the most with.
Feels like he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah. Guys, I got to do something for the wiki, the Savage Dragon wiki, and add, like, something for some of these weapons. Like, I started doing a write-up for the Power Glove. I'm, like, interested in, like, every appearance it's had and, like, where it's been. Because it's been all over the place.
I would love if you did that, dude. Like, that sounds awesome as shit.
Like, there's a couple of weapons, like the Power Glove, the Martian Shrinking Ray, that always kind of showed up. Maybe Vanguard's teleportation thing, but I feel like those things need their own, like, entries.
Thor's hammer, maybe Rex's armor.
Yeah. Overlord's
Absolutely.
armor.
Overlord's armor, my god, yeah.
But yeah, the Power Gloves is one of those things that they've been around since, you know, Amy She-Dragon kind of.
There used to be two of
started.
them.
Right. One went to space and the Vanguard back up. But yeah, they've definitely been around.
Yeah, man, please do track that. I think that sounds fantastic. So, like, we always sort of do this little, like, impromptu, what'd you think about this issue? Tell me, fellas, what are your feelings on this issue? Give it a number, give it a feeling.
9 out of 10. 9.5.
Moly.
I think the stuff with Roughneck in particular really sells this issue because it's the kind of fucked up thing you want in your Savage Dragon. Unexpected, violent,
Yep.
kind of creepy, dick eating.
How about you, Craig?
I was going a little lower. Like, I felt like, I guess, based on everything else that's kind of come out, I don't know if it's past year is a good term to say, but the past maybe 10 issues, I felt like relatively this sits for me maybe like a 6.5 or a 7. And I think it's good. Maybe I'm under. I just feel like there's a lot happening, but not a lot happening.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Wow.
I'm gonna agree with Jim because here's the thing. Maybe I've just been like, you know, without my Savage Dragon for too long, so this one just hit extra hard. But just sort of echoing, like Jim already covered it. Like I just think having a safe character, you know, get like mutilated in a shocking fashion. Like been reading this book for 30 years and seeing a guy getting his fucking legs eaten while he's alive, like hanging over a fire. It's fucking still pretty crazy. You had a lot of strong, like just one page moments, like Malcolm's conversation with Marcia, or just like, you know, the aforementioned leg eating scene, you know, just stuff like that. I think that there was just this is what I want from my Savage Dragon. I just want a bunch of shit going. I always have said this, that I feel like the book is strongest when there's a lot of irons in the fire. Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot going on. I feel like there's a lot of changing dynamics.
There's a lot of changing scenes of different characters, and so he's kind of every couple pages you're shifting to some different cast.
Yep. I feel like you got like Samurai coming up. You got Angel potentially leaving the book. You got like we don't know that Horridus won't die from COVID. We don't know. And
one thing I do like is when Erik is building up his villains as much as his heroes. So one good thing I'll say that I liked about this issue is you're getting to know more about this Mako character. You're getting more to know about the dynamic of what's going on with the Vicious Circle. I enjoy that because then you're more invested when these villains lose or win or whatever it is. You know, there was a time in this book where it was just like a lot of just kind of cool looking designs and some for these villains, but there wasn't much backstory to it, and so it didn't feel like a big deal when there were repercussions or something to that effect. You know, when Dragon fought them.
And I even feel like you get like character progression with like seemingly minor characters, like Insect. You know, with Dark Dead, you could see that have going either way. Like, you know, was she just taking care of Billy because of it was an order, or like, you know, there's no reason for her to still be staying the course. But like this issue really drives home the fact is like, no, like this kind of motherly instinct is awakening in her. And it's cool. Like Insect's a nothing character. Like we don't know fucking Insect.
Yeah,
but
well,
it's
Samurai and Insect both went from like background little like just throwaway characters that were just penciled in to fill in a big group of VC characters to being kind of like leaders and characters you want to know more about.
Yep. So I love it. I thought it was good. Yeah, I give it a 9.
All right, maybe I was too low, but I'm still gonna stick with like a 7.
No, dude. However you feel, it's still valid. It's your rating.
I think it's relative to the other issues. I would say, you know, I don't want to knock it because it still was a fun issue and entertaining and visually really appealing.
Mm-hmm.
So we also got this backup here, but again, we're not going to talk about that today. We are planning, a long time coming, to have an interview with the creators about this backup in Red Hook, and we hope to have that soon. And we will talk about the backup when we talk to them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to Dave Kelly and Dean Haspiel. I don't really know Dave Kelly's stuff, but Dean's stuff blows me away from the stuff I've collected of his. I'd like to get to know more about what Dave Kelly does. But Dean Haspiel's got that kind of like that Bruce Timm style.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Kirby-ish, Toth, maybe crossover look. All mixed in, but it's got a lot of good characters and good comics, so it should be a fun interview. It's always neat when a person's character crosses over with Savage Dragon in a backup. I always love, you know, backups that have Savage Dragon in it, so, or Malcolm Dragon, I should say.
He's Savage now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. First time I saw Red Hook was in the pages of Savage Dragon, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. So yeah, it's going to be a blast to talk with those dudes. For sure.
Any interesting letters?
You know, it's a lot of, I'm not want to shit on the letters, but like it's nothing particularly strange or stand out. It's just kind of, you know, definitely read them because I think there's some really good stuff, like reader complaints, conversations and stuff. Like he talks about how, you know, the circles on Tootsie's Fargo Ray were done digitally and, you know, just little things like that. But nothing so much that I'm going to take up some space here in the FINcast for it. But definitely some solid letters. Please write them, folks. Good shit.
Cool.
It's not like the 90s when you'd have some like middle schooler, you know, telling Erik his dumb ideas and telling Erik that his teacher caught him, you know. Shit like that.
Yeah. One thing I like about some of the stuff, like the back cover of this issue, the next issue, I feel like we haven't seen that in a while, where Erik's promoting like the next issue. Is that just me, or I don't recall last time we've really had that.
I noticed that he's doing that on Ant also.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you like it more than, say, another pinup, though?
I don't know. I like finishing the book, you know, finishing the comic, and then you flip to the last page and it's something to think about. Like, oh, all right, this is what next issue is going to look like. I don't know. Just a little reminder, like what's coming up.
If I got my rathers, I'd rather have something original there.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the next issue cover in previews already. So for me, seeing it on the back of the book doesn't light my fire. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I like it seeing it in print. Like it just looks different on a printed page.
One thing I would I don't buy print, of course, but one thing I've noticed or seen that would almost, I would say, would be a preference would be the front cover without the copy.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I dig that. That'd be cool.
I think they couldn't do that, though, because it would probably get mixed up on the stand.
Well, I know other image books do this.
Oh, really?
Well,
In
at least
print, though?
I believe so.
Now you're going to have me being that weirdo flipping image books over.
I'll try to find an example.
Sniffing 'em.
It took me like 3 seconds to realize what was happening. I was like, what the fuck? Someone using compressed air? What's happening?
Just sniffing my chemical comics. So,
Guys.
yeah, what do you think?
Scorched Earth. Malcolm Dragon and his father from another reality, Paul Dragon, join forces to take down the vicious circle. But they're greatly outnumbered and hopelessly outgunned. 262. That's it. I didn't do the voice because I got sick. I got COVID and I don't think I could do it. I've been muting coughs this whole time.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, big time.
I haven't noticed.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully next issue comes at a relatively quicker pace.
Yeah, we got Ant floating around.
Well, screw that. I mean, our problem is that we need to be more on the ball. We've let things go way too long, and we definitely want to. We got plans to get more episodes out in the near future. We definitely want to get that interview in. We got another issue of Ant to cover, and we really got to get back to doing retros because Savage Dragon is heating up.
I own them all
is
now.
Heating up. We have got to get to that freaking Joey Finkelberry story. God damn it.
Yes.
Bros, another thing is I've been going through back issue bins, and I couldn't even believe it. I have found so many Phase 1 phasers.
Phase 1 phasers.
That was Vic's series before Freak Force.
Oh.
And Erik also worked on it.
Phase 1 phasers.
It's spelled like Fazers. Yeah, I'm just saying it's just so funny. Yeah, we got a lot of FINcasting to do, man. We got a lot on the horizon.
I mean, I'm not crazy,
I've
right? Erik did
never
work
seen
on-
this before.
Erik closed it out, is what I think he said.
Right.
Vic couldn't meet his deadline, and Erik ended the series. And then, oddly enough, Erik turned around and picked Vic up for Freak Force. And then lost touch with him. Doesn't know where he is.
Well, I think that's it. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. And again, we'll be back someday soon. Yeah.
Write in.
Please write. Remind us you exist.
We would appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for listening.